Kelowna's townhouse market has seen a significant shift lately. In October, sales increased by 32%, and believe it or not, prices are starting to come down. Inventory remains at an all-time high, creating more options for buyers and creating more competition for you sellers out there. Let's dive into the townhouse market and see what the numbers might mean for you, and we're going to start with the prices. So, October 2024, this is ending October 2024. Prices are sitting at $718,000 as at the end of October. And if we go way back 5 years, way back 2019, we're sitting in October then was sitting at $525,000. Now that shot up 59% since, from October, about 2.5 years to March 2022, which was the all-time high here in the Kelowna area. And townhouses peaked out at $837,000. Then we had a drawdown as those interest rates went up. The prices started to slowly come down, and they've come down about 14% since then. Prices have come down slightly over September. And if we take this blue line back, this kind of tells us where we're sitting historically. So prices are back to about mid-August, September-ish, 2021. So we're around, again, $718,000 for your typical townhouse here in Kelowna. And if we look back historically, about a year ago, you're down about 2.6%. If you did buy then, you've just lost value. Hopefully you don't have to sell. 3 years ago, you're down about 2%. I should have made that red. And if you bought 5 years ago and you've held onto that property since then, you're up about 36.6%. And that's from October 2019 again to October 2024. So you've made some great gains there. And if you've held back further, you've obviously gained more. Now on to a more frightening stat here, and that's about 90% of you aren't subscribed to the channel. So if you are getting any value out of this video, or you're looking to stay up to date on the Kelowna area market, whether it's townhouses, condos, single family homes, the statistics that I come up with every single month, please hit that subscribe button and you will stay up to date on those future videos. Now on to the more interesting stats here. So the number of sales that we had in October is 58. That's up 32% over this time last year. Keep in mind, we did have the fires. We were just recovering last year. But overall, and even compared to September, we're way up in sales. In September of 2024, I should say, just a month ago, we're way up in sales, way up. And hopefully that continues into November as well. I haven't looked at the numbers yet. We are nearing the end of November. So hopefully that does continue. I would imagine in December that will drop off again, as it normally does, just being Christmas season, holiday season. Now the benchmark price, again, we're sitting at $718,000, down about 2.6% over a year ago. Days to sell, this is my favorite number to go over because this number, 63 days to sell, or about 2 months to sell your townhouse right now. Now this is what I call the advertised price, and it's not true to what the market is actually doing. So I dive into every single sale and see which ones were relisted, then sold after it was relisted, or repriced, relisted, then sold, that sort of thing. So if we take the actual days to sell, or cumulative days to sell, whatever you want to call it, it's almost 3 months right now for a townhome. And I'll give you a perfect example right now of a townhouse that sold in, well, technically it sold November 1st. So probably at the end of October, but it got recorded for November 1st. But anyway, this is just an example. So you can see at the bottom there, it was originally listed for $799,000, sat on the market for 38 days, got relisted at $799,000. Just on the same day, you can see June 10th, sat on the market again for 57 days, then got relisted at $777 for 56 days, then got relisted October 1st, sold 31 days later. And again, they relisted at the same price, then it finally sold at $755. So the purpose of this example is that this 31 is what would get recorded, or would be the advertised days to sell, whereas these 4 numbers here would be the cumulative days to sell. So this 63 is what gets advertised, would be included in that 31, if that makes sense. and the cumulative would be what I call the actual days to sell. And why this is important is because it might take you an extra month to sell on average, especially if you don't have your townhouse priced competitively to what the market is asking. And the list to sale ratio right now, you're sitting around 98%. So for easy math, if you do have a townhouse that's $1 million, you and the seller and you and the buyer are negotiating about 2% off the list price, meaning it'd probably sell on average for $980,000. And the original list to sale price ratio, you're down about 1% off that. I have people before ask, so I do include that in my stats now. What's the original list price to the sale price? So it's about an extra percent there. Total inventory right now for the townhouse market, you're sitting at 422, which is up 28% over this time last year. And inventory has absolutely just skyrocketed this year. Sales have been at all-time lows, except for this month and a couple other months this year. But overall, it's been very, very slow year for real estate here. I know across the country really, but here in the Okanagan, it's no exception. And the townhouse market overall, we're sitting in a buyer's market with 7 months of inventory, meaning at the end of October, if nothing else got listed, then it would take about 7 months in theory to sell off that inventory. So that tells us we are in a buyer's market. Now the absorption rate is the rate at which homes are selling. So we're at about a 13% absorption rate. That's if you take the sales divided by the number of inventory. It's sitting at 13%. This means, and a better example of that, if we had say 100 units of inventory and we would have 13 sales. So telling us that there are a very low number of sales right now. And if you're not priced competitively, that your property is probably not going to sell in a given month. Now, if you have any questions about the Kelowna and Okanagan real estate market, simply shoot me a text message if you prefer texting, or if you want to book a call with me, there is a link down below in the description to do that. Now, if you're in the market for a townhouse right now, or you're looking, in the near future, I have my deal of the month right now. This isn't my listing, but it's just one I thought that was very, very good. And it's based off of the benchmark price right now. So you're at $719,000. This one is right near the university. It's a 3-bedroom, but it's 3 separate suites. So if you're an investor or you're looking to buy a unit here, maybe you're going to the university and you don't want roommates, but you want to have the ability to rent out a couple rooms without even seeing them. There's actually 3 different suites, and all the suites have separate entrances. So that's what's included here. It's called the beta plan. Townhome offers 3 suites located at UBCO Okanagan. Prime investment opportunity is a rare find. Very rare. You never see these types of units. And 3-bed, 4-bath. So one of the units has 2 bathrooms. Total square footage is just under 1,800 square feet actually. So again, if you're in the market for a townhouse, this one might be a great option if you're looking to invest. Now, if you're more interested in the single family home stats, check out this video on the top there. And if you're looking to move to the Kelowna area, the one on the bottom is the pros and cons of moving to Kelowna, British Columbia.